Hello and
Well,
welcome to Load Mag. You're trying to get in. It doesn't matter, Martin. No one is actually watching this. It doesn't matter.
Is
It's
it?
just us.
Grand.
It's just
Happy.
us.
It's just us three.
Yeah, no one wants to watch this. No one wants to talk about this game. We set up
No.
the show, so we're
Don't
going to
blame
see it through. We're going to see it through.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get straight into it. The match was built around protests at Arsenal, potential takeovers at Arsenal, Europa semi-final, Villarreal second leg, being 2-1 down. So yeah, it was all set up for Newcastle. Wilson returning, maybe the first time we see him in the starting lineup, and yeah, Newcastle on fire. And what a better time to play Arsenal. Yeah, here's how they lined up. Actually, we've got a few people joining us to watch now. Nice one. Brilliant. Cheers, guys. So we started with pretty much the same lineup, apart from Wilson started and Joe Linton was dropped to the bench. We thought, happy days. Here we go. Time to unleash Wilson and see what happens. Yep. 5 minutes into the game, El Mohammadi, ball in from Bellerin down the wing. Aubameyang miss it, and Hannity, he got the goal. Nice goal for them. Then carried on. Xhaka got a yellow card. We thought then, yeah, put Xhaka under pressure, run at him. Maybe he get a red card. He's prone to another tackle and a rash tackle. The Swiss internationals, those Swiss internationals, they're all a bit like that, really. Yeah, then we'll get the second half, kick off second half. Newcastle kind of more on the ascendancy for about 5 minutes at least. And then Arsenal come back into it again. Nice goal by Aubameyang. And then, yeah, we kind of knew it was game over then. There was nothing really much happening. Of course, you guys were on the show, the NEFC Matters show, Match Day Live. And then time to bring on Shar. And Shar gets sent off. Now, okay, debatable whether he should have been sent off. But I know, Martin, you used the hashtag not my captain for Lascelles. I use the caption not my dreamboat for Shar. I just don't like him at all. I'm not a big fan of Shar. So yeah, what did you make of the game, lads?
Loads of shite. I was on Match Day Live with Mark.
we were actually texting each other. It was that bad.
Yeah, it was.
We were texting each other through the game.
It was disappointing, wasn't it, Mark? Because for me, I just felt like I'd rewound about 4 weeks. You know, I saw real fight in the West Ham game. I saw real fight in the Liverpool game, albeit we weren't great against Liverpool. I'm not for 1 minute saying we were, but I actually felt like we could get something out of the Liverpool game. But today, I know we conceded early on, and I was saying during the match, oh, we'll be fine, we can keep going here. But again, I just didn't see anything. I feel like the players had all just had the flip-flops on, as the expression goes. And I think the players feel like they're safe. And yeah, big opportunity missed for me today, because that Arsenal side are not great, and we made them look pretty good. That was as comfortable a game as they'll have for a while. And yeah, I was just disappointed because I expected far more. I was actually saying to Daz pre-show, I'm glad we didn't run through the man of the matches, because I genuinely would struggle to pick who anybody would be man of the match for Newcastle, because I can't actually recall seeing anybody today and thinking, oh, they had a good game. I just don't think anybody had a good game. I felt like the whole team were just inept today.
Complacent, yeah. Yep, definitely.
Yeah, it wasn't. I think there was just nothing in midfield for me. No energy, no passing. We couldn't put a ball together. Like I was looking at the statistics. Hang on, let me just pull it up. I did have it on before. 2 seconds. Bear with me. While I pull it up.
While you're doing that, Martin.
Yeah.
This reminds me of us trying to play this.
Oh, no, yeah.
This is what we want today. Just give us a minute. We'll just try and sort it.
Absolutely, yeah, there's absolutely nothing in midfield.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So it finished off 62% possession to Arsenal, 38 to us. Arsenal had 19 shots, 5 on target, 10 off target, 4 block shots. We had 5 shots the whole game with only 1 on target.
Yeah.
At home against the team 11th in the league, 2-1 down in a UEFA game in a European Cup game.
Yeah.
I think Arsenal this season have really, are shown to be the team that they are. Their position doesn't lie. They are where they are because of their form. There was an opportunity to go at them today. Like Smith Rowe wasn't in, Saka wasn't in. So, from a midfield perspective, Caballas and El Neni, I thought they were there to be got at.
Yeah,
like Willian hasn't played well most of the season. We made him look like the Willian of old from Chelsea. Odegaard played well. They were just running circles through Shelvey and Longstaff. And for the first goal, when it again, as per usual, when the camera panned back, El Neni gets a strike on goal completely unmarked, and Shelvey's jogging back with his hands beside himself. And I don't know how many more times that panelists and pundits and fans and those that go on the Matters show and this show and other shows have to go, just because he's vice captain, if he's not playing well and he's not performing, he shouldn't be in the team. I would have much preferred to have seen Matty in there with Sean today. Second half, even, 55, 60 minutes when it wasn't going well, we didn't bring Matty on. We brought Joe Linton on, and okay. Last week, to be fair, Chris, you made a point. He probably shouldn't have been dropped. He has been holding up the ball well. He seemed to be linking play a bit better with Wilson, even with Almiron. Almiron was off the game today. I would love to have seen him when he went off. I would have loved to have seen Anderson come on and just run at them. But, normally for us, in particular second half, it's been a case of when the other team scored, we've upped our game and we've gone on. And that, for whatever reason, that spark wasn't there today for me. We were poor defensively. Dubravka, I think, got a hand to the goal. The shot from El Neni, I thought he could have done better. I have to say, barring a handful of saves, and maybe I'm wrong, but I've not been as impressed with Dubravka since he's been back. And I kind of, there's a little bit of me kind of feels a bit sorry for Darlow, if I'm honest, because Dubravka's let in a few goals where he's had soft wrists or limp wrists.
But Martin, thanks for that. If you think back to Dubravka last week against Liverpool, he was immense. He was man of the match last week. So,
but he has let in a few that you would expect him to save. Do you know what I mean? I know defensively you've got to have 3 or 4 in front of you that are not allowing you to get peppered with shots, because the odds are if you've got somebody shooting 15 times at you, once out of that 15 it's going to go past you. But I just think we've had a couple of look. I'm not saying he's any worse or anything else. I thought he was a bit at fault for the goal. I think he could have done better. But when we've had a couple of shots like that, low down or kind of to the left or to the right of him, his hands just seem dead soft. I don't know what it is with him, but there was nobody impressing today. Shelvey has been fucking woeful all season, and we haven't had that midfield, and all the time, all season, we've been shouting the same thing, which is no bite, no pressure, no tackling, no nothing. So it was. Seen a few people saying, it was worst performance of the season. Oh, come on, lads, it wasn't.
I won't go that far.
It certainly wasn't. Brighton and Sheffield United by far the two worst. Sheffield United away probably the worst. Even worse than Brighton, I would have said Sheffield United was the worst performance of the season. Followed up closely by Brighton. This one wasn't, but that bite wasn't there. Someone's banging me door. 2 secs.
It was a bad performance. There's no two ways about it. It wasn't good, and based on what we've seen in previous weeks, recently, it was nowhere near that standard. But I wouldn't put it anywhere near the Brighton or Sheffield United bracket. No, I wouldn't even say it was in the top 5 worst performances this season. I genuinely wouldn't. It wasn't the fact that we weren't doing anything. It just felt like there was a lack of effort, really, which is disappointing. We just didn't really create anything. I just don't think we were particularly up for it today, which it's no excuse. We should be up for it. But there was no urgency. But yeah, I wouldn't go too overboard with that.
Yeah, Martin could be on mute for a while.
Same Sunday in my household. Viewers should be used to it by now. The amount of people that trips through my Harry Potter position under the stairs.
Before we look at the table and just the run in as well, because we don't really want to talk about this game for too long. Is I just want to bring up this because we haven't seen you, Chris, since this.
I know.
And that T-shirt's on its way to Julie. If
Julie,
John and
Julie,
Q-Tech.
you'll have to send me a picture of you with that T-shirt on, Julie. I hope you really enjoy it. And yeah, whoever,
I think the interesting thing with that T-shirt, and I'm sure Julie won't say it, but as most of us would think, for pretty much most of this season, you have been a pain, but now you are officially getting on Julie's tits.
And you know what? The first thing, this is the first, because this is the first time I've seen it up close. This T-shirt, it's actually a woman knocking on the door.
Yeah. I was going to say,
I didn't realize that.
I've got a crack waist, haven't I? Crack and waist.
It is, yeah. He's obviously got one of those fandangled corsets on.
Yeah.
Okay. let's look at the table. So yeah, we obviously haven't changed because we're on 36 points. Fulham, who lost against Chelsea, they're on 27, 9 points behind us. West Brom, who play tomorrow, they're on 25, and Sheffield United are already relegated, so we'll forget about them. Guys, there's kind of rumblings on Twitter as well about people now kind of checking themselves. Have we still got something to be worried about here? So I said I'll just put the run in together and just show the teams that everyone has to play. So yeah, obviously for us, we have to play Leicester next on Friday. The following Friday, we play Man City. Then we play Sheffield United with that game. Oh, has it been allocated a date now? Wednesday the 19th. Okay, great. And we play Fulham the last game of the season. Mm-hmm. Fulham have to play Burnley. Now, Burnley do play West Ham tomorrow. And Burnley are in the exact same points as us, 36. So I can't see them beating West Ham. So Burnley need another win. So what better time than to get it against Fulham, and that would help us as well. So then Fulham also have to play Southampton. They have to play Man United. They're not getting into Man United if Man United play another game this season. They play us obviously the last game of the season, and West Brom they play Wolves, who aren't doing great. Arsenal, who should beat them. They have to play Liverpool, who should beat them. West Ham, who probably should beat them, and Leeds, they'll be relegated by that stage. So, what's your thoughts, lads? Do we have anything to worry about?
Do you know what? I discussed this with you pre-show, didn't I, Daz? For me, nothing to worry about. I'm just looking at the graphic now. I don't think we get anything against Leicester. We may get a point against City if we're lucky, but probably not. But that Sheffield United result will seal it. I think we beat Sheffield United all day. Even a point will probably be enough, but I think we beat Sheffield United. The Burnley game won't be as easy for Fulham as what people believe. I think Burnley will still be up for it, especially like you say, Daz, if they don't beat West Ham.
Yeah,
I think Burnley will be looking at that all day as their saving game to make sure that they stay in the division. Southampton away is not going to be easy. Hasenhüttl, will demand that Southampton, try and get as high up that table as possible. I fully expect Southampton to beat Fulham. They're not going to get anything at Old Trafford. And then for me, the one thing I do want to say, and I keep reiterating this, I don't want that game when Fulham play us at Craven Cottage to mean anything. For me, as long as it doesn't mean anything, I don't care. I do feel like if it means something, and if we go down, if Fulham win, that will concern me because I don't fully trust our set of players. Put it that way. In terms of West Brom, I don't even think it's a conversation, to be honest. I think Wolves can probably nick a draw there. I think Arsenal beat West Brom at home. Liverpool play better than away from Anfield, don't they? So again, I expect Liverpool to win that. They'll still be in the chase for the top four, albeit it's not looking great for them. And I think West Ham turn West Brom over as well. West Brom are too far away, so yeah, it's a straight one between us and Fulham. And I think anybody would agree that it's looking very much like Fulham are going down.
Yep, cool. Martin?
Yeah, I mean, realistically, we, Fulham have to win all 4 of their games, really, don't they? I think, yeah. I think Burnley will beat Fulham. I think Southampton, Fulham could go either way. I think Man United beat Fulham, and then could be a draw between us. But as Chris said, hopefully that game on the 23rd won't mean nothing. I think for us, I don't think we get anything from Leicester. I don't think we get anything from City. I think we take points, certainly a point against Sheffield United. Again, the Fulham game, and I think max West Brom take 3 points. So, I don't think from maybe what Keith or any of the statos can tell us, is there any team in the bottom 3 have ever won their last 4?
I doubt it.
I don't know of any. I stand to be corrected, of course, but I think it's a big ask. They've only, as you said, Chris, you shouted the stats out during the Matters game today. They won 9 in 34 or something.
Yeah, they've won 5. They've won 5 in the last 34. So they've now got to win 4 of the last 4. So,
and I think Keith's on annual leave. I think you gave him a week off, did you?
Yeah, he's chilling out. Yeah, he's gone on his social media boycott.
Cool. Right. That's all about the match, really. You said before you come on, Mark.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Oh no, we're carrying on.
Yeah, no, we said we might touch on the other events that are happening or are not happening at Old Trafford, and we thought we were bad with trying to have a bit of filler with Jay Tennant when he had technical issues there on Wednesday night. Sky are doing their best to fill in there the blanks as well with missing a game. But yeah, desperate scenes. Fair enough for protests, and they have something to protest about. But yeah, there's some people then that take it that bit further, and so what I think, I was of the opinion that nothing's going to happen to the Big Six, and for the Super League, is this going to continue on now? When will that game be rescheduled? Man United have their Europa League second leg this week, isn't it? Into next week, and so when does that game get played? Should Man United be docked the points now? Should the game be awarded to Liverpool, which will ultimately just hand the league to Man City as well? There's a lot of tricky situations there. What do you think?
It's a tough one, isn't it? I understand the protests, and in a lot of ways, and maybe I'm wrong for saying this, but in a lot of ways, I quite admire them doing it, because I look, when we were in the throes of us wanting Ashley out, and don't get me wrong, I'm not criticising anyone, but as a fan base, I would have liked to have seen a bit more action, or a bit more unity, a bit more trying to make an impression, trying to make a stand. And I looked at the scenes today and I thought, wow. I'm not saying that it's going to make a difference to the Glazers. I'm not saying that they're going to look at it and think, oh God, we better sell. I'm sure that's probably not the case. But they certainly got themselves in the news. They've certainly made the voices heard, and they've certainly made an impression. Will it do anything? Probably not, as I say. But, I think to a degree, credit to the fans, for making a stand. I'm not 100% sure that it's kind of, against the Super League, which is what people are suggesting it is. I think it's more than that. I think the Super League's probably, the straw that broke the camel's back. I think a lot of Man United fans are really upset with how the Glazers run the club. And I do have sympathy for them. Obviously, we have a club that is run very badly ourselves. The Glazers, I don't think the Glazers are going anywhere soon, anytime soon, should I say? Which is, I'm sure Man United fans don't want to hear that, but these protests, it'll certainly bring a bit more attention, and it'll you would like to think make a few people sit up and take note. Going forward, as you rightly said, Daz, I hadn't even thought about that. I don't know what it means for the Europa tie. I'm assuming the police are gonna have to cordon it all off for a mile around the stadium to ensure that doesn't happen again. Because I'm assuming more people are going to protest, aren't they? I very much doubt it'll be that game. End of. I think this will continue.
Continue on. Yeah. And it might spiral into the other teams as well. Who knows?
Quite possibly, yeah. yeah, it's interesting. It is interesting, but you know, I just, I just, I think I think it will all die down. I think the Premier League will probably be looking at this. I'm thinking, you know, I'm glad there's only 4 or 5 games left. Because I think, you know, once we hit the off season, you know, things may happen, things may change. And then by the time we come back to the new season, you'd like to think that all the fans will be back in the stadium. I don't think the fact that fans have been kept away from stadiums for so long has helped, because I do think, and I'm sure, you know, people will agree and see where I'm coming from on this. I do think a lot of fans kind of saw today as a bit of a day out, as in, oh, let's go down to Old Trafford and let's cause a bit of a scene. Let's get in the stadium. Let's do this. And I wonder if fans were being allowed in stadiums, would half of those people done that? I don't know. But as I say, I do want to kind of give them a little bit of credit for, you know, getting together and trying to do something about it. And you know, like I say, they've certainly caused the uproar that they were after.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, look, we've had a shoddy owner for 14 years. I think the only thing that I suppose there's a couple of things. One is, you know, between Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool fans, you know, and the majority of those fans out at Manchester United Day, you kind of have to put your hands up and go, do you know what? Well played, lads. You know, you've gone out, you've got together, you've made a stand, you've been heard. Well done. You know what? Much like some of the pundits today, what you can't condone is, you know, there was a steward injured, there was property damaged, there was a policeman that was slashed, I believe. So look, you know, you can't condone that kind of behaviour, and unfortunately, there is, you know, a small minority of idiots in amongst what was a fairly peaceful protest, you know, to be heard. I hope that what comes from it is reform, in the form of the Premier League and you know, not necessarily better checks on owners, but you know, I think there needs to be reform across football as a whole, in regards to ownership or failed ownership. So yeah, it's very easy to get, you know, or not get hold of a club, as is being proved with Newcastle at the minute. But I think once an owner does get hold of a club and it's not being run rightly, there should be some format of action taken, because at the end of the day, the Premier League has a duty of care to its shareholders, which is, you know, club-wise is us. The other 13 of the 14 that were pretty much cut adrift by the Big Six on the ESL move, you know. And whilst there is, you know, protests about bad ownership, it can't be forgotten that Manchester United and Liverpool, in fairness, led the charge in the ESL to drop the other 14 teams. That, as Gary Neville rightly points out on the show today, is hugely, hugely damaging potentially for football in the country. So I think there's a lot wrong with football at the moment, both within the Premiership, through its ownership, through the people that run the Premier League. I think the likes of the FA, the ESL, all this other stuff that's going on, you know, I think the Premier League uses a lot of them as whipping boys, and the likes of the FA and some of these other crowds bow down to them. And I think it's a shit state of affairs. But yeah, look, credit to those fans that have gone. I don't think it's going to blow away. But what I can see is I can see the Premier League making a U-turn and not allowing fans back in this season if that continues.
Jesus. Chris, you had some information for us there as well?
I did, mate, yeah. As always, you know, I've always got my finger on the pulse when it comes to the footy. So, yeah, Spurs went 2-0 up. Heung-min Son scored. But I've since found out that it's been ruled out for offside. So it's still Tottenham 1, Sheffield United 0.
Good.
Who scored the first one? Sorry, I didn't see the first. Who scored first?
It was Gareth Bale and Sergio Aurier got the assist. I'm assuming you're asking that in terms of the fantasy footy.
Yeah, I think did we go for Spurs? I didn't go for Sheffield United, did I?
Oh no, we all went for Spurs. No, I mean, you know, like your teams, like your fancy footy, you know, like your points and stuff in the leagues.
No, I haven't got Bale in my team anyway. He needs a haircut.
No.
Yeah, I have him in my team. Okay, I want to say thanks for watching. Like and comment. And I know everyone watching already has subscribed, so there's no point in telling you. But if you haven't, make sure to hit that subscribe button. That would be great. And before I also forget, I want to bring this up and hand it over to you, Martin, for a bit of Bruce in.
Bruce in, yeah, the only Bruce in. Yeah, obviously our sponsors, Centre Rail. Bruce runs the Centre Rail shop down on the platform in Newcastle Central Station. Purveyors of fine ales, including vegan beers, locally distilled gins and ales, and other very good substances to get you inebriated on a night like tonight when Newcastle have played absolutely woeful. So if you are local to the area, pop in, see Bruce, tell him we sent you, and he will look after you down in Centre Rail. Go in there and get yourself some really cool beers and fine craft beers. So thank you to them for their continued sponsorship.
Thanks, Martin. And I will remove that from the screen. Okay, and I also want to tell you, anyone as well what's coming up this week on Load of Football Weekly. Sorry, that's the following week. This was the one I wanted to use. Coming up this week, we have Jack Cattell, and yeah, he's going to join us. He'll also be, as well as we'll be playing some of his tunes. He's also going to take, and he'll take part in the quiz. He'll also take part in our Loaded Fans Favorite. I think that's what we called it, didn't I? Yeah, so he'll take part in that. And of course, the poll is running. I think there's a day left between Paul Oxley and Jace Campbell. So yeah, for those teams, for those two teams, and get voting on our Twitter page. Yeah, I might as well tell you as well. Give you the news a week early. Is after that, on the 12th of May, we're going to be joined by Garden Party. So I've loaded in the system there. So I just said I'll let you know about that as well in advance, since you tuned in to watch us. So that's on Loaded Football Weekly, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Is there anything else, lads, you want to chat about? No,
not that much.
It's been a bit
Not
of
that
a
much.
today, isn't it? It can't really
Yeah,
that much.
Yeah, I think
we could talk about Chris's fry today. Chris put a picture up his fry that his missus spared him, which will be really, really nice. He looks a bit healthier, actually. He was a little bit green under the gills when we were on the match show. He was very, very subdued and very quiet, and then the game didn't help. So, like I say, we did spend much of the second half just texting each other, chatting elsewhere.
Yeah,
and I joined in some of that as well.
It
was a depressing game, wasn't it, Mark? Yeah.
Do you know what? I can take. I think any Newcastle fan can take a loss, but a loss with no effort for me is just not acceptable. So I can take a loss. I can take playing an Arsenal or Man United or Liverpool or anybody, given 150%, getting tackles in, having shots at goal, having possession, and going at it. But when you get simplistic things like they're opposing, fullback being booked after 20 minutes, and we don't put one of our paciest players up against him to challenge him, it's not good enough. And I think, look, we've had some results in the last kind of 6-7 games. We've pulled out some points. We pulled away after being pulled back in by Fulham. That's great. We're in a good position. But I will say, as I did on Loaded Mag the other night, let us not forget, it's still Bruce out. He's woefully inept. He should not be anywhere near our club. And, 6 or so wins in 28, 29 games, whatever it happens to be now, is absolutely not good enough for that club. And I'll continue in that vein. Bruce out.
Yeah. Not with the squad of players we've got, Mart. Definitely not.
Yeah. I've got one question. I know, Martin, you're not a big Jamal Lascelles fan, and I'm not a Shar fan. And not my dream boat is my hashtag I'm using for Shar. But Chris, you have the deciding vote. We can only keep one, or we can only get rid of one. Who do you get rid of, Shar or Lascelles?
Mate, do you know what? It's funny you asked this, because I don't know whether Martin will remember this, but when I first joined the NUFC Matters group, I was quite vocal about my feelings on Jamal Lascelles. Yeah, do you know what? Absolutely. Tell you what, I'll take it one step further. Martin's saying not my captain, which I completely agree with. He's not even my centre back. I think Jamal Lascelles is probably the 4th or 5th best centre back at the club. I would prefer Paul Dummett in over Jamal Lascelles. I prefer Shard over Jamal Lascelles. I prefer Lejeune over Jamal Lascelles. I prefer Clark over Jamal Lascelles, and I prefer Fernandez over Jamal Lascelles. I'm not. I don't want to sound like I'm, like battering him, but I just don't think he's good enough.
But we are.
Yeah. Do you know what?
I have done all season, and I will not change.
He's got some quality smart, but he's not a centre back. And really, I don't even think he's that good a footballer. He panics. I don't think his positional's very good. He's big. He's strong.
But he doesn't
he's not
use
slow.
It
but no, he doesn't use it. That's it. He hasn't got the brain. He hasn't got the footballing brain. I mean, for me, and Daz, I know this will kill you, mate. I'd take Fabian Schär over him every day of the week.
Yeah. No,
and if I was playing, I would have that back four as such, and I would play Schär more so as a sweeper. Yeah. In front of that back four, an old-fashioned sweeper. There's a word now. Most people, we don't use that word anymore.
Have him over Shelvey in the two all day long.
I would have him just as that sweeper because he can play a decent ball on the ground. He's a good footballer,
and he can take the ball out.
Yeah. If you were to combine Jamal Lascelles and Fabian Schär, what would you get? The answer is Chris A. Chris, welcome. We're just about to wrap up, actually, Chris. But
okay, well,
I'll put the question.
I didn't have much to say about the match anyway, so.
Oh, Chris, we've hardly spoke about the match. Yeah, we've hardly spoken about it.
Time, really.
Ask Chris that question, though, Daz.
I could ask Chris the question. If you have the option of keeping one or getting rid of one, whatever the case may be, of Jamal Lascelles or Fabian Schär, which would you pick?
I'd keep Schär, 100%.
Okay, I'm the only one that would keep Lascelles.
Question. I wouldn't have Jamal Lascelles anywhere near the first 11. He's only there because he's the captain.
Yeah. No, I don't want him as the captain either.
He needs to be on the same bus out of St James's that Shelvey's on for me, unfortunately.
Yes. Yeah. No.
The two of them. I think that time at St James's is.
Yeah. If I were picking from this squad, I'd have Richie as the captain, and probably Fernandez or somebody as the vice captain. Yeah.
Cool. Anything else you wanted to raise, Chris?
Before
we wrap up.
Not Fernandez. Who's the current third captain right now? That's what I'm thinking of. Manquillo. Manquillo. Anything else that I had on my mind?
Now's your chance. It's 34 minutes past 8, so you've now got 3 minutes to rant, Chris A. So give us your 3-minute rant on Loaded Mag, and just let it all go. Consider us your cheapest counsellors you'll ever have.
I have a rant, and actually it's pretty good because I'm actually going against a friend's multi-billion-dollar business here. So we have the Deliveroo for food service done in London, and I think it's expanding all over Europe, whatever, and the UK and maybe Ireland. But the issue there is that it's really undercutting the local businesses. So I say support your local chippy, your local grill shop, your local kebab shop. And if you can do without, but if you can walk your way to there and pick it up rather than having a food service deliver it for you, because they take a 35% cut. They basically make the local business like increase their prices just so they can make the overhead to pay for the 35%. And then they also do this thing where they'll copy your business and put it into like a trail, like a shipping container and process. I was on the move tonight. I was like, I feel like getting a Mexican place from this place called Tortilla Nacho, and so I looked up the address and I was like, oh, Brick Lane. I don't think that actually exists. So I went to the actual physical address on Brick Lane, and there's no Mexican. There's nothing there. So they're using like a physical address as like a post as like a PO box, and it's probably at the actual restaurant is probably a shipping container in some back alley. So even though my uni mate started Deliveroo, and I do order from it, I'm more mindful now that there's sort of more to the story behind it, and if you can support your local business, local shops, and not just kind of do everything off apps, it'll work out better for the local merchants. And
I did do that last night. I did support my local kebab shop last night, 3 times over. So yes, I'm with you on that. So I mean, there's some good hashtags there tonight. Lascelles out, not my captain hashtag. Not my. What was yours, Daz?
Nah.
Bashar?
Oh yeah, not my dream boat.
Not my dream boat. And then we've got hashtag Bruce out. Hashtag not my sender back, and now we've got hashtag not my delivery service. There you go.
I think
get them trending tonight.
Daz, you're going to be happy, mate.
Is it
Gareth Bale's got
again?
a second. Gareth Bale's got a second.
I could have made him captain. I'm not sure. I'm not from sure.
Hungmin Song's got the assist. 2-0.
Cool. If he gets a hat trick, he gets to cut his hair. Thanks, Chris, for joining us and for that rant. I think, Martin, you should have been more specific of what you wanted him to rant about, but you left it open. And Chris, you saw the opportunity and you went for it.
Thank you for keeping it open.
Do you know what, though? All joking aside, that's actually a valid point, because
it's true, though. It's true.
As we come out of lockdown in many places, and obviously from the Irish perspective, we did get news on Friday that we are actually starting to open up a few bits. So we've got shops and bits and pieces open up from the 10th and the 17th, and outdoor dining and pubs very, very soon. So obviously Ireland will not be, me and Daz won't be on loaded mag or anything for about 3 weeks once the country opens the bars up, because the whole island is just going to go nuts, because we've been locked away for a year with no drink. So we will go mad. But I think it is a good, valid point, all joking aside, in the fact that as we do come out of lockdown, lots and lots of local businesses, in particular in areas where there are small towns, where little shops and bakeries and stuff like that do need continued local shopping and footfall through the stores, as opposed to a Tesco or a Primark or a Greggs or whatever. And there are other, obviously, establishments available. But yeah, support your local businesses. I'm 100% behind that, mate.
Great.
Cool.
Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Chris. I think we're going to leave it. We'll leave it there for the night, guys. We're back on Wednesday with Loaded Football Weekly. We'll be Thursday for a bit of Loaded Mag, and we'll probably do a review show if we get a result. Let's leave that open. Let's see what we'll do. I don't know when we'll run that. But yeah, so thanks everyone, and see you soon. Good luck.